Thank you very much, you guys. It's wonderful. Wonderful way to start the morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy almost Christmas, right? We're getting into the season now. I'm Reverend C.C. Coltrane. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Dayton. If you're new today, we extend a special welcome to you and thank you for sharing your morning with us. At Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Dayton, our mission is to be a community of love that supports all of us in experiencing real transformation. If your contact information has changed, or if you would like to give us your address and an email, you can fill out that tear-off strip on your program and just drop it at the Welcome Center or in the offering basket as it goes around. Looks like about 3/4 of us are in the back getting lunch ready, so don't forget to stay for lunch after service. It'll be good. In the meantime, Lana Mayhew will be, Stephanie Stewart will be giving our reading and invocation this morning. And our vigil holder is Judy Nussmacher. And Stephanie and Lenza will be offering our interfaith candle lighting, which we do just to remind us that every spiritual and religious tradition is founded on some really deep wisdom that we can use today. The kids are with Carol today, is that right? No. Oh, there was Mark! There was Mark today if we have him. We may not have him. They're going to make what?
Feeders for the birds.
Oh, we might all have to go do that ourselves later. Make those bird feeders. Anyway, let me do a couple of announcements and then we'll get on with some more music. Join us on Wednesday evening at 7 for our Wednesday night gathering. We're looking at a new story for our world and how we replace the story we've heard and been telling ourselves with a new one, how we tell a new story of our time. And it's been really nice. It's, a little spiritual practice and then some discussion, and it's been really nice. So please plan to join us Wednesdays at 7. We are also enrolling right now for classes that begin in January. There are 2 classes, 5 Gifts of an Abundant Life and The Power of Your Word. Each, there's a little flyer in your bulletin that runs down both of those classes. If you have any other questions, feel free to call the office and ask. They're both really consciousness expanding, transformative classes. They make a great Christmas gift for yourself. So think about that. The sign-up sheets are over on the bulletin board. As is the registration for the Winter Snow Fun Day on January 26th. If you look at all the things in your bulletin, you'll see a flyer about that as well. A flyer about Home for the Holidays, which we're co-sponsoring on December 30th with Have a Gay Day. And also don't forget about the Camino Walk. There is a page about that as well. It says a walk in Spain. Deposit for that to the tour operator is due December 21st, so don't miss your chance there. And please, please, please stay for lunch after service today. I know one of them is here, but not the other one, so I want to do something at this moment which is kind of heartbreaking but wonderful at the same time. Kelly O'Keefe has been a member of our Leadership Council now for 6 years. She served 2 terms. She's been exceptional in her service, in her willingness to do just about everything, including taking minutes, exquisite minutes. She works really hard. She cares very deeply, and she's termed out. So we're going to miss her a whole bunch. Kelly, we do have something for you. If you will come and receive it, please. It's a clock to remember us by. And you have just been awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve you guys. I'll still be a social green team, so we'll still plan a lot of fun events, but the Leadership Council's very good learning experience. You learn a lot about the center, the finances. It's fun for me because I like taking notes, but you get to work with great people, and it's just a good experience. So I encourage you, if you want to serve in any capacity, let Reverend Cece know. I know for me, I used to be one of these people that just like took off as soon as service was over. I didn't want to say hi to anybody. I didn't want to do anything. But, serving really helps. Like, I wanted to be able to learn people's names, so I became a greeter. I like planning, doing hikes and things like that, and playing games. So I did the social committee. I like doing minutes, so I did the leadership council. So I encourage you, whatever your interest is, something you like to do or something you want to improve upon, there's a way to do it. So I encourage you to get involved. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. If you would like to serve on the Leadership Council, I promise we won't make you take minutes unless you really like it. Kelly does a really amazing job of taking minutes. We have such a good record. If I don't remember anything, all I have to do is go back and look, and guess what? It's there. It's incredible. It's wonderful. It's been really, really good to have her on our Leadership Council. Just one more reminder, and that is that after services, there's something that's eating at you and you can't quite figure out your way through it. Our practitioners are here to pray with you. They are skilled and trained to see the spiritual truth even when you cannot. So just ask any of the people with the white or teal stoles on after service, and they'll take a minute with you for prayer. It's their gift to you on Sundays. So now it's time for some more music, and we'll get on with things around here. Thank you for being here.
We light the first candle to honor Buddhism. The three factors that seem to have the greatest influence on increasing our happiness are our ability to reframe our situation more positively, our ability to experience gratitude, and our choice to be kind and generous. We light the second candle to honor Christianity. God's dream is that for you and I and all of us, we'll realize that we are family, that we are made for togetherness, for goodness, and for compassion. We light the third candle to honor South African spirituality. Ubuntu is the essence of being human. Ubuntu speaks particularly about the fact that you can't exist as a human being in isolation. It speaks about our interconnectedness. When you have this quality of Ubuntu, you are known for your generosity. We are connected, and what you do affects the whole world. When you do well, it spreads out. It is for the whole of humanity. We light the fourth candle to honor Islam. In the Islamic way of life, it is only by serving other human beings that we can truly connect to our Creator. We light the fifth candle to honor North American First Nations spirituality. The first piece, which is the most important, is that which comes within the souls of people when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all its powers, and when they realize at the center of the universe dwells the Great Spirit, and that its center is really everywhere. It is within each of us. This is the real peace. We honor the sixth candle to honor Sikhism. The true path to God lies in the service of our fellow beings. And we light the final candle to honor Hinduism. He alone sees truly who sees God, the same in every creature. Seeing the same God everywhere, he does not harm himself or others. Today's reading comes from Ernest Holmes. It takes less energy to live constructively than it does to live destructively. It takes no energy to have faith, while fear devastates such energy as we have. It takes no energy to love. It is hate that is destructive. It does not take mental or physical energy to build up hope. It is despair that blocks us. All it takes is faith. So if you'll please join me in a few moments of silent contemplation of today's reading. So here and now from this place of faith, I rejoice. I rejoice in this holy moment and on this holy ground with all of these perfect souls, knowing that this is divine time. It is blessed time, and we are each blessed and a blessing. I'm grateful. Grateful for all that transpires today, knowing that it is exactly as it should be, knowing that we are all here by divine appointment, that we are the energy of love, that we are the energy of a new hope for our own lives and for the lives all around us and for this world. So I simply say thank you. Thank you to everyone present. Thank you for everyone present. Thank you, God. Thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is.
Feels like it's finally warming up a little bit in here, huh? It's cold this morning. So this month we're exploring happiness and fulfillment, which certainly ought to be the products of our philosophy, right? Otherwise, why walk any spiritual path if you don't get happier and more fulfilled? Well, happiness and fulfillment are the products of our philosophy, but they're not the products of just reading it or hearing about it. They're the products of practicing it, of making it truly part of our lives and of the way we think and the way we speak and the way we act in the world. And part of my job is to go out and look for new ways, new tools, new things that will help us do that. That's why I have the greatest job in the world, because that's what I get to do. Ways to get this philosophy into our daily lives more and more and more. And I think maybe it's becoming more important than ever because we're so distracted. Our lives are so full of distractions, and it seems to get worse all the time. I can tell you and myself to meditate twice a day until I am blue in the face, until you're blue in the face too. But finding time to meditate twice a day is tough these days. It really is. Especially time when you don't have a phone that dings at you or, something going on. We can talk about praying and visioning and serving, and some of you will, and I will sometimes. But some people simply cannot because they've got several jobs and there's so much going on in their lives that, committing to those kinds of times is difficult. They feel they cannot. So in today's reading, Ernest Holmes points up one of the foundational things that helps us base our lives on this philosophy, and that is this fundamental choice. We can either choose to live constructively and therefore gain happiness and self-fulfillment, or we can choose to live destructively and therefore get more unhappiness and more despair. That is a choice. It's a choice, but it's a choice that's kind of like staying married. It's like every day you have to make that choice, right? Every day you choose to live constructively, just like during certain parts of a long-term relationship, every day you choose to stay married. And staying sober, every day you choose not to drink, just for today. And that's kind of what we have to do, I think, with choosing constructively. We have to choose this day to look at things in a constructive way. Holmes says, all it takes is faith. But that's kind of like saying all you have to do to stay sober is not drink. What do you have to do to stay out of the trap of drinking? What do you have to do to stay out of the trap of distraction and cynicism? That's where we are, right? What do we do to keep our faith strong? Because it's not something you just get one day and then everything is taken care of forever. It's not how we're made. We're too human for that. Faith requires us, I think, to decide over and over and over again that life is for us and not against us. And not to buy into everything that seems to deny that. Not to stare at it, anyway. We have to decide every moment that when we see something that appears to say, look, how can this be for you? We have to not stare at the idea that it's not for us. It's like staying sober, like staying married. There are lots of things that can help us when the going gets tough. And that's what I'm here to talk about, is the first thing, of course, is to revisit that choice every day, every morning. Today I choose to live constructively, affirmatively, with courage, from love. That's my choice today. The issue for me, and I doubt that I'm the only one, is what happens 2 hours later when you're in the middle of something that clearly appears to be not for you, right? How do I remember at those times that I live in a universe that's filled with spirit, that's, filled with good and light and love? Because as human beings, it's really easy to get cynical instead. And cynicism is a sneaky thing. It gets a toehold before we really even know it's there. We start out idealistic, and then we become what is called realistic, and then all of a sudden we're cynical. How do we get there? And part of it is because our world is very cynical. People are focused on finding important the wrong things. And then we see things happening around us that can lead us into cynicism. Maybe you throw your whole heart into a job and they fire you anyway. Or you think you have found a relationship that you can really count on and build on and that's intimate, and it dissolves. Or you say you'll be there for somebody and they tell you what a disappointment you are. You're really there for them and they say, God, you've disappointed me so much. If it doesn't happen to us, it happens to people around us. And we watch it and it moves us towards cynicism. We think we're getting ahead financially and the IRS sends us a letter and says, guess what? We found an error on your 2014 taxes and you need to pay us some more money. Or somebody we really admire goes down in scandal, or we have a knee replacement, and as soon as we get strong from that, our back goes out. Something is always going on. So we can become more and more jaded until we finally say, what's the point? What's the point of trying to be happy and fulfilled? It's just not going to happen. You know what I think? I think we get cynical because we care so much in the first place. There isn't a single person here who doesn't want to make a difference in the world, right? We all want to make the world a better place. We all want to have relationships that are contributing to our fulfillment, and we all want to create a world where happiness and fulfillment are there for everybody. We care a whole bunch. And then we find out that being human is really tough. It really is. My favorite t-shirt company, and a couple of other people's favorite as well, Life is Good. They have a t-shirt, I wear them all the time, but there's a t-shirt that they put out that says, life isn't easy, life isn't perfect, life is good. And we get cynical because it isn't easy and it isn't perfect. And we forget that it really is good if that's the choice we make. It's good if we choose it to be good. And making that choice and remembering we made that choice this morning is difficult. Because all around us are people who are disappointing us, or who are untrustworthy, or who are users. And the news, whatever news channel we watch, tells us every day that the world is going to hell in a handbasket. What does that mean anyway? I ask it. Where does handbasket come into all this? But my mother said it all the time, so there it is. World's going to hell in a handbasket. Our leaders and our friends turn out not to be people we can rely on, stuff like that. And we make a very human mistake then. We take our past and we project it into our future. And when we do that, our past pain becomes our future hurt. And that can make us stop trusting. We stop trusting ourselves, our judgment. We stop trusting each other. Sometimes we even stop trusting God, Spirit. We stop hoping. And pretty soon we're instead of having a bad day, we're having a bad life. But cynicism, like faith, like hope, like love, cynicism itself is a choice. Sometimes it's not entirely conscious, but it's a choice. And that means, of course, that a new choice is possible. When we find seeds of cynicism in ourselves, we get to make a new choice. And there is something that will root cynicism up and keep it out of our lives. It's something you don't always think about, because that something is curiosity. Cynical people are never curious, and curious people are never cynical, because there's always something new going on when you're curious, right? When you're curious enough to be open to life and say, as the India Ari song says, I wonder how life will surprise me today. If that is the attitude, there's no room for cynicism. It just can't take root. How do we feed and develop and nurture our curiosity? I think the first thing is that we have to give ourselves time to just be instead of do. I am a human doing. Anybody else in here? Yeah. We have to take time to just stop and be and think and look at the wall and wonder, right? In a couple of days, I'm headed to Hocking Hills, which I do a couple of times a year for this very reason. I try to find cabins with no Wi-Fi, and there is no cell phone service anywhere over there, I swear, except on a couple of mountaintops. There's not much to do except sit and look at the beauty and watch the deer and think and wonder and dream. That's why I do it. I think we have to schedule the time for ourselves, or we won't give ourselves the time. We won't stop doing long enough to give ourselves time to be. Time to wonder and question, and that leads me to the next practice that nurtures curiosity. If we ask more questions than we give answers, if we ask those kinds of questions that are open-ended and don't rush to come up with an answer, everything opens up. When we ask another person, tell me about yourself. And then we don't stop to think about what we're going to say, how we're going to respond. We listen. We find out that sitting across from us is an amazing human being that we didn't know much about before. When we ask open questions and then just listen for the reply, whether we're asking another person or God or life itself, then curiosity takes over. And we start to challenge our thinking. We start to dig deeper. We start to open up more. The other thing that is really good for curiosity is dreaming, wondering, visioning, planning, but planning without holds on, imagining. What would you want your life to be about if you didn't need to be in control of it? See, most of us learn from our society that we need to be in control of our lives, and that restricts us to what we already know. If we know it, we can control it. But what does life become when we let go of that control and just start imagining what's possible instead of merely what's probable? What happens then? See, the cynical mind will confine us to what's probable. But the spiritual mind says, what's possible? What's possible? Anything's possible, right? We know that. So when we wonder and imagine and dream and allow ourselves to see what's possible, not what's predictable or probable, but what's possible, all sorts of things open up again. And it helps to ask yourself why a lot. Be like that 3-year-old kid. Why? 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 There's no mom around to tell you to shut up. Why do birds fly? Why does the sky come up with those colors at sunrise? Why does my friend feel discouraged? Why is my spouse seemingly not as warm to me as he or she used to be? Why? Why? And more importantly, and more often, why not? Why not? Why not try something you've always wanted to try but you haven't before? Why not show up differently to see if you get a different response from your partner? Why not look up the reason for those colors at sunset? There's the internet, oh my God, it's a fabulous resource. It will answer all those why questions you had in ways that sometimes really do make you wonder. Like, I wonder who wrote that answer. No, I'm kidding. It really can spark wonder, and sometimes like, I wonder who wrote that answer. Why not take a class? Why not get a new perspective? Why not try a new way to do something? Why not go skydiving if you've always wanted to do it? Why not? Why not? Why not let go of the control I think I need to have over my future? Why not? The other thing that will move us from cynicism to hope and faith and openness towards life is to figure out how we're compromising ourselves, our character, and stop it. I think that we've forgotten that character is more important than competence. We worry about how we look and how competent we are when we show up to work and all of that. But I think probably the thing that matters even more is how are we living in integrity with our values? It's just the opposite of what society tells us once again. You know, we think if we're more competent, people will look up to us more. We'll make more money. We'll be more successful. But stop and consider something. What do you want your life to be about? What do you want your life to be about? When we all leave this planet, our life's going to be summed up in a sentence. Oh, Cece, she was so blank. What do you want that blank to contain? I got walloped with this the other day. I don't want it to be, oh, Cece, she was so smart. Or Cece, she worked so hard. That's not what I want it to be. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to have a good brain and I'm grateful to have capacity to work, but they're not the kind of things I want to be remembered for. So, true confession time. I fell into a big trap lately. I took a part-time job with our ministerial training program in addition to my full-time job here for a couple of good reasons, and they are good. Well, one of them is anyway. One was I was getting kind of nervous about what was going on financially here, but the other reason was because I'm trying to create room for Stephanie Stewart, who graduates next year and becomes a minister, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah. I wanted to create some room for her to come and work with our community. And the timing wasn't great because she's not graduated yet and all of that. But this is when the job came up. So it came up and I dove into this giant project and it was all about doing the work. And I forgot why I'm really here. I forgot. I made a mistake. And I forgot that I'm really here to create a loving space for people to do the transformative work we're doing. I got full of myself and the work, and I didn't have enough room or time for anyone else. It's a mistake. I compromised myself. Because me, full of myself and doing rather than being and working instead of caring isn't helpful. It's just not helpful. It's likely hindered our community, and I'm sorry for that. I realize that my being matters more than my doing. And my telling you how much I care about you matters more than showing how much work I can do. My being present with you, that matters more, so I take full responsibility for that. And I commit to paying more attention to character than competence, to love rather than work. And I don't intend to become incompetent. I'll just try to remember what comes first. What comes first? So I start here by saying, I've allowed myself to become compromised. And I know there's a different way to do it. I know there's a different way to do it. Doing matters for all of us. Of course doing matters. Competence matters. It just doesn't matter as much as living in accordance with our deepest truth. Living in accordance with what it is that Spirit's trying to do through us. Seems to me it's all about listening for that and then showing up to it as fully as we possibly can. And I think what Spirit's trying to do through me is to create a space, a community where those who come into this building feel supported and honored and loved and challenged to become all that they came here to be. I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So what is Spirit trying to do through you that maybe you're not listening to or not showing up to as fully as you could? See, if I had a wish, a desire for everybody in this room, it would be happiness and fulfillment. That would be it. Because the components of that are so enormous. You know, happiness is joy, satisfaction, love, a feeling of connection. Fulfillment is making the difference we all seek to make in the world and feeling an integrity. That would be my wish for everybody in this room. So here's an idea. Let's do this together. Let's choose to live constructively every day. Like stand married or stand sober. Today I choose to live constructively. Let's choose to be curious about this thing we call life, this adventure, this wacky road we're on that some days feels like dancing and other days is like, you know, Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the mountain one more time. Let's choose to keep asking why and even more ask why not? Why not? What's possible? And let's choose to give ourselves what we need to stay curious, to not get cynical, but to stay curious and to listen to and honor our deepest character. The invitation, my friends, my beloved ones, is to say yes to life, yes to happiness, yes to fulfillment. To live constructively is just that. It just means saying yes and not no. So right now, let's just come together in consciousness and pray. Let's pause and remember this deep truth about ourselves. That we are all waves of life on the ocean of life. That we are all manifestations of Spirit in the universe of Spirit. That we are all uniquely made to express that one life in a way that only we can express it. Yet back of us, behind us, supporting us is the same power that created it all. So not only are we free to be all that we came here to be, but we are supported in doing that by all the power of the universe. We may get cynical because we're in this human form with a peculiarly evolved brain that says, ooh, look out, there might be danger here. But we are also given this God consciousness that lets us say yes, and life is precious. Yes, and life is positive. Yes, and the universe is for me. Yes, and what's next? In what way will life surprise me today? And why not go out and greet it with open arms and open heart and open mind and yes on my lips? That is what we are all about here on this worldly journey, is simply finding another way to say yes to the eternal life that flows through us and in us and as us and from us every moment of every day, of every week, of every year. How do we choose to express that today? For our greatest gift is the same gift we give to the world, the gift of ourselves. And so what I know about this community is that we do say yes to life. We say why and why not and what's possible and I love you and walk with me and I will be there for you and you are precious. We say those things, and in saying them we are transformed and we transform our world. When we begin to allow all of these practices to creep into our lives in bigger ways, oh, life says a big yes right back to us. And I give thanks for knowing that. I give thanks for being part of this community of constant transformation and change and growth and love. And I know that as we individually grow, together we grow. And our city grows, and our state grows, and our country grows, and our world grows and expands and beats, its heart beats in a bigger and bigger way. And so I say yes to all of that with deep gratitude. And in deep gratitude, I simply release all of this into the infinite mind of spirit. That which always says yes. Yes, my beloved, yes. That which has already said yes to us. I let it go, I let it be. I know it is done. I know it is done perfectly, wholly, completely. It is good. And we say together, and so it is.
Just a thread, a simple thread in this glorious web of life. We are all just drops within a stream, flowing towards an ocean of light. We may forget where we come from. Seed with eternity unfolding in me, and I pray that as I grow, I will reveal the love that illuminates my soul. When I remember where I come from, when I remember where I'm going, then I will see
Gotta use your muscles.
Should not be this hard.
She missed the gym.
No, it's this broken handle. So anyway.
Be like a rock star.
Yeah, rock star.
Oh dear. I gotta figure out some way to take that shut so it'll come out of there. So now we have an opportunity to be part of the future of this place, to contribute to the center so that we're contributing to this world of happiness and fulfillment that we want to have and we want to create for our kids and grandkids. And we create that with our contributions of ourselves, with our contributions of our time and our money and our talent and our thoughts and our gratitude and all that we are and do. So let's just take a moment of gratitude and think about what you're grateful for. There's so much to be grateful for in life. And please affirm, life flows through me.
Life flows through me,
Bringing all its gifts.
bringing all its gifts.
I am grateful
I am grateful
as I give and receive
as I give and receive
all that life has to offer.
all that life has to offer.
And so it is. Whew. That was good. Those little guitar riffs and everything. Woohoo, baby.
Stab you over there, go.
I know. It was great. It was great. It was great. So it's time to go have lunch. Yay! Thanks to all of you for being here. Thanks to everybody who made this morning possible, our ushers and greeters and practitioners and the welcome team and all the social team and the people who are making all that food possible and the Higher Mind Band. And you. Our closing song is I Am a Light and I Shine. So stand up, let's do this closing affirmation, do our closing song, and hopefully by then Stephanie and Kim will be back with the turkey.
Who's the turkey now?
They're 2 minutes away, they'll be here. I choose to say yes to life.
I choose to say yes to life.
I choose curiosity.
I choose curiosity.
I choose to be true to myself.
I choose to be true to myself.
I live constructively.
I live constructively.
And life is good.
Life is good.
And so it is.
And so it